My signal is probably not the best.
You in the supermarket. This is when the pain really starts. Just as he tells the checkout person, "No, you won't need any change, dear." And we all know that there is always a couple of bucks for the poor girl at the front end of the supermarket that isn't the rest of us that make the profit off of the ones that don't want to fight their way out of here, but want pushing like cattle, because we all know that there isn't enough money for each of us to pay cash at the counter. There has to be the big brother behind us as ready with those coins like this would get him out of the parking lot as quickly and politely as possible. Who hasn't had to wipe a stray hair out of the side of his mouth that they weren't supposed to be putting up to begin with? It doesn't help to see him pulling up next to me in a lineup even though it's way too close. Are we standing close because of the sun reflecting off our headdress in his car? Who says there has to be any heat in the seat on those cool summer days when I'm riding around with you to keep the swelling down? But of course my arms are doing some of the best work right now because my legs seem to have taken a dive into the floor of his vehicle. This is probably why my right knee looks swollen by now from a little mishap with my left toe and the jaw that we just happened to bump against. I think the whole thing must have been worth the shock of having those 4 shots of tequila because I was already pretty much done for by this point. What is a girl supposed to do? Why is the guy saying all sorts of crap about how I'm too good looking not to have some fun with? Well, I can say it's true even though most guys will run out of breath in the middle of those 4 shots and I haven't yet had those ones that he'll be enjoying.
Okay, that's that. This is this. Oh, I hate. There we go. This really ruined the poem. Having to search for it. Copy. And then I'm sure this is very riveting.
Though it was my suggestion, I can just hear the people asking if they can come with us when we cross town to that place called the Bridge Club and we'll see who knows more about bridge. There are those that think that bridge is card games for old farts, and yet my little brother has been trying his luck at playing with an old couple once in a while because of the fact that the guy works for the telephone company and he can't get anywhere with the woman. You know, these are the sorts of people, TH, that you might want to trust when all things aren't going as you may have planned for the next hour or two of the whole of the day. The stories start because of the casual talk in between people at bars and restaurants, where everyone is just making the rounds in the evening after work. Some might even fall asleep while on the job in places like these, where at least this is my favorite of my poems called Rhododendron Wine, a guide to how I met my mother. When will we learn? There are only so many ways for our past to repeat. Why are you sitting on a rhododendron vine in the middle of the night with another girl? You're such a fool that you still don't know the difference. You say it like a friend, but all the while you are saying how I was supposed to tell you as soon as we walked down here from our spot in the park. There's just so much light dancing through those leaves as you search for the perfect dancer. Well, the moment that it came to you, I think that it was quite a surprise because your hand just wrapped around that cold bottle as though it had all been building up inside you all this time. Her legs are spread and your dick is pressed against her as we W. Atch those bees of the dust sky. You are pointing out how everything can change in an instant, and she looks into me while telling you not to touch. She knows how long you've been wanting to put your hands on that place that could give you so many problems for so much of a time. Well, that's just what she told you about when it comes down to you and me and a little glass of rhododendron wine. I think there must have been too much of it, but hell, I love you so damn much. I'll wait until the sun has set in the night sky for us both to be able to start running up the street to our room. Because we mustn't keep her waiting or you might end up sitting in jail for that which you never took from her.
And then, one last one. The AI wrote this, just so you know. All of it. Hey, honey.
of tonight is a light, one cold, one SUV mows down two fat asses and sensible Sunday violence. Hey honey, your father taught you the difference between good and bad decisions, and how not to take things out on others. Of course, I'm not talking about all those bad decisions you've made along the way and are still making as you drive your way down the streets this morning, even if you seem to be able to put together the proper words and phrases for your sales pitch. How about the car that is parked along with another like a brand new Lexus, as they lean back against each other to look over those clouds in the sky? They are like two lazy kittens just going wherever they want at all times, and God knows that you could call them just as often on the telephone just for something to do. Don't even worry about those police cars with their blue lights on. Why, your friend was stopped not too long ago because somebody called in to say that he'd been going way too fast with siren wailing at his butt cheeks in this car that he just so happened to steal right under your own nose from the back of the yard. Don't forget to stop on the way to school on Friday to let him know how you feel before you take off towards the field of gold where your friends are hanging out for the afternoon, although I don't think anything good will come of that. A half day is an awfully long time for you to be left alone because your mother doesn't want to see you these days unless she's got a full tank of gas and a can of brake fluid on her side of the garage door. She always knew that I wouldn't care how it all worked out because I had this deep thought that this wouldn't just go on forever and that sooner or later some sort of life would start happening for us again. But who are we kidding here? It hasn't, and so there's no choice now in finding a safe place where the two of you can find refuge after dark. Now I should have some music as we end this evening, so sit back with some ice in hand, but that won't really work, because maybe you won't want any if the glass is small, and what is a concert hall anyway but a big room where you just get those uncomfortable benches where you don't see anyone behind your back that doesn't give a shit. You are good night. How are the kids today?
Okay, that's it for now. That's it for now. See ya all. See you all.